Will everyone please rise for the processional?
Please be seated. Good afternoon. My name is Bruce Hawkins Sr. As chairman of the trustees of Western Piedmont Community College, it is indeed an honor and pleasure to extend a sincere and heartfelt welcome to all of you to the 2016 Western Piedmont Community College graduation. During this brief time, let's celebrate together with these graduates who represent the future. Let's also celebrate the bounty of choices, possibilities, and adventures from which our graduates can choose. Graduates, your presence here today represents the accomplishments of a dream and a goal. With your degree now in your grasp, you are equipped to take on the world. Your life is now your destiny. Now your life is yours to create. Whether to further your formal education or to move directly into your career. We have simply built a strong foundation for the future that you must independently design and build. So get busy with the next step in your education and your life. Michael Dale, founder and CEO of Dale Incorporated, once stated during a commencement exercise, and I quote, "As you start your journey, the first thing you should do is throw away that store-bought map and draw your own. Sure, enjoy the summer. You deserve a rest. But stay focused on your life. As you explore the world, remember the time that you spent here. As you continue to learn and to change, reflect on the time when you stumbled and even failed. Recall how your caring mentors push you in the right direction and stretch your imagination and your spirit. Keep in touch with each other and your professors, and always remember that the campus of WPCC is a place that you can call home. Please accept the congratulations and best wishes from the college, its trustees, faculty, and staff. May your hunger and desire to grow and learn take you far beyond Western Piedmont Community College. We wish for you a future that is as happy as you are today. So congratulations, graduates. Now I ask Nate Rossenberger, student trustee and president of the Student Government Association, to advance to the lectern, please. Nate.
Welcome, friends, family, and graduates, and congratulations, class of 2016. We finally did it. We've gotten our degrees. For some, it took longer, and others shorter, but no matter the amount of time, we have finished it, and for that, we deserve congratulations. Where will you go next? And where did you apply to? It took you how long to graduate? Oh, you switched majors. Yeah, that's nice. What are you doing over the summer? How are you paying for college? Have you gotten a job yet? Is that degree of any use? That's an interesting career choice. Oh, so you finally graduated. What now? Some of us already have the answers to these questions, and others haven't reached an answer just yet. And that is perfectly fine, because if you look around the room, what you're going to see is individuals. Individuals with different backgrounds and unique stories to share and diverse experiences that will guide us in our next steps. Remember that Rome was not built in a day, but someone had to take the first step. All of us graduates and any current students or alumni in the crowd are unified in our experience here at Western Piedmont. We chose Western Piedmont to be the first step of our future, even if we're not quite certain what that future entails. Everyone in this room either has, is, or will be facing the decision and question of what to do next. And each person, the influences in that decision are different from the next. But no matter where you are in that decision process, I implore you to take action. Employ your critical thinking skills that you have grown over the past 2 years and explore your options. Life will happen to you, whether you try to guide it or not, so you might as well try to influence the outcome. If you want something in life, you're going to have to take action to take it. I will close with a quote from Bradley Whitford. Take action. Every story you've ever connected with, every leader you've ever admired, every minuscule thing you've ever accomplished is the result of taking action. You have a choice. You can either be the passive victim of circumstance or the active hero of your own life. I obviously encourage the latter. Thank you, and congratulations, Western Piedmont, class of 2016.
Thank you, Nate, and thank you, Mr. Hawkins. My name is Michael Helmick. I am the president of Western Piedmont Community College, and I too would like to add my personal greetings to the audience and graduates and welcome everyone to the annual spring graduation ceremony at Western Piedmont. This afternoon, we are gathered to honor the students of the graduating class of 2016. Those students whose desire for learning and aspirations for a better life led them to enroll at Western Piedmont. Before we proceed with the ceremony, I want to recognize several individuals here this afternoon who are participating in this annual celebration of students' achievement. First, a group of very dedicated and supportive individuals who give so unselfishly of their time and energy to Western Piedmont, our Board of Trustees. If you all would stand as I call your names. Mr. Bruce Hawkins, Chair of the Trustees. Mr. Bill Lennon, Vice Chair of the Trustees. Mr. Ron Martin, Past Chair of the Trustees. Mr. Charlie Taylor, Past Chair of the Trustees. And Ms. Ruth Ann Suttle, and Mr. Nate Rosenberger, who's our Student Trustee. Please join me in thanking them for their service. Next, I would like to acknowledge the administration of the college, the deans and the senior administration, who work so well together to ensure the operation of the institution. If you all would stand as I call your name. Ms. Sandy Hoyleman, Vice President for Administrative Services. Mr. Atticus Simpson, Vice President for Student Development. Ms. Rhea Crawford, Vice President for Academic Affairs. And Ms. Kathy Durham, Executive Assistant to the President, who is not on stage with us this afternoon. In addition, there are the deans, Ms. Mary Charlotte Safford, Dean of Humanities and Social Sciences, Mr. Michael Daniels, Dean of Science, Engineering, and Mathematics. Ms. Anne Marie McNeely, Dean of Developmental Education and Health Sciences. Ms. Leslie McKesson, Dean of Business and Public Services. Mr. Lee Kaiser, Dean of Continuing Education, and Ms. Susan Williams, Dean of Student Services, and Mr. Jim Coleman, Dean of Technology and Learning Resources. Let's give these dedicated Western Piedmont administrators a hand. And you all may be seated. Next, I want to represent our representatives with the Burke Middle College, who are seated on the stage with us today. Burke Middle College consistently leads the state in performance, and today we have 50 members of the graduating class who are graduates from Burke Middle College, and they will be receiving their degrees from Western Piedmont even before they receive their high school diplomas later this month. The principal of Burke Middle College, Mr. Jonathan Klontz, Ms. Suzanne Crawford, counselor, Ms. Anna Moose, social studies teacher, Ms. Lisa Wall, English teacher. Let's give these folks a hand. Thank you all. Might also mention that 74% of the seniors from Burke Middle College are receiving degrees. That is a phenomenal percentage for those folks doing that. And you will see a number of them walk across the stage later. Next, a group of individuals without whom we literally could not operate the college. You may not be aware that Western Piedmont Community College consistently outperforms many of the other North Carolina community colleges on the mandated performance measures for the state. And our surveys indicate that our students are pleased with the education that they receive here and are consistently recommending us to their friends and family. Western Piedmont is a college of excellence because we have the best, most dedicated faculty and staff of any college that I know. We do not say thank you enough to these individuals, so please join me in thanking the faculty and staff of Western Piedmont Community College as they stand to receive your applause. Thank you. You all may be seated. Finally, while I am thanking individuals who figure so prominently in our college, I want to thank those individuals who are not on the stage, but make what goes on up here possible. This doesn't come together by accident. Please help me thank the staff who helped make this graduation happen, the Student Services staff. Before I introduce the speaker, I want to draw your attention to a few items of ceremony that you may have noticed and some of you may not. First, you may have noticed to my right is the college mace. It was carried to the stage by Rusty Harrison, who is the chair of the Faculty Staff Council. It's held in a wrought metal stand. Historically, a mace was carried ahead of high government officials to announce to everyone that someone prominent was coming. Today, a mace is largely ceremonial, and they are used frequently in academic events as a symbol tying the past of the college to the present. This mace has elements that date back more than 20 years at the college, and the current version incorporates both those historical elements and more modern elements, including the stand, which was made a few years back by the welding students at Western Piedmont. Next, in your program, you will find a description of the ceremonial regalia that is worn by many of our faculty and staff. The colors of the hoods that are worn designate both the academic discipline of the wearer and the college from which the degree was earned. You may find it interesting to see how many disciplines are represented at Western Piedmont. And lastly, I want to point out a new symbol that is debuting this year, the Presidential Medallion. Presidents at most colleges have a medallion that represents the office. I am wearing the new Western Piedmont Presidential Medallion, and it gives me great pleasure to tell you that it is an example of the fine work that is done by the Advanced Machining Program at Western Piedmont. Instructors Brandon Hensley and Larry Thompson and our machining students designed and fabricated this medallion which will be worn by me for my years as president at this institution and then passed on to the next president. It will be inscribed with the names of the presidents who have served this college for the past 52 years, and I hope that it stays an enduring symbol of this office and this college. Now it is my pleasure to introduce our speaker for this afternoon. This afternoon's graduation speaker is someone that I am very, very pleased to introduce because of his ties to this community and to this college. Mr. George Fouts currently serves as the interim president of the North Carolina Community College System, and he has held that position since September of 2015. George Fouts has worked in the North Carolina Community College System for 42 years, starting his career as an English and philosophy instructor right here at Western Piedmont Community College. Over the next 16 years at Western Piedmont, he served as a department chair, a division director, the vice president for academic affairs, and executive vice president under former president Jim Richardson. During his time at Western Piedmont, Mr. Fouts was very active not only at the college, but also in the community. In many ways, he set the bar for those who would succeed him in administrative roles, and his legacy of community service continues to be reflected in the involvement of the college administrators statewide and in the community. In fact, this lovely facility that you are sitting in this afternoon is due in no small measure to the efforts of Mr. Fouts, as he was the co-chair of the fundraising campaign to build CAMA in the 1980s. This past year, Mr. Fouts used those fundraising skills once again as he worked diligently to get the recent Connect NC bond bill passed. That bond will bring $5.1 million to Western Piedmont and $91 million to Burke County. In 1989, Mr. Fouts left Western Piedmont to become a special assistant to the system president, former Governor Bob Scott. And he was responsible for the implementation of 33 recommendations made by the Commission on the future of the North Carolina Community College System. Following that assignment, he served as the Vice President of Academic Affairs at Wayne Community College and Executive Vice President at Guilford Technical Community College in Greensboro. During his career, he also served as an interim president at Mayland Technical College and Roanoke Shawan College. Since his retirement as Executive Vice President at GTCC, he taught for 6 years as an adjunct instructor in developmental education and served as the director of the Developmental Education Initiative in North Carolina. In 2011, he was selected by the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation as its senior partner for completion by design in North Carolina and served in that capacity until 2013. During the past 2 years, he has worked as an independent consultant to community colleges in North Carolina, South Carolina, Texas, and North Dakota. And I thought people slowed down in retirement. In January 2015, he was awarded the IE Ready Award by the North Carolina State Board of Community Colleges for his contributions to the system. The Ready Award is the highest honor bestowed by individuals by the State Board. A native of Thomasville, North Carolina, Mr. Fouts graduated from Thomasville High School. He received his undergraduate degree from Catawba College and his master's degree from UNC Chapel Hill. He also did postgraduate work at Western Carolina University and is a graduate of the Institute on Writing at the University of Iowa. He and his wife Jackie currently live in Jamestown, North Carolina, and recently a new system president was named for the North Carolina Community College System, and so Mr. Fouts will very soon retire once again, and based on his past experience, that means he will be busier than ever. On behalf of a very grateful North Carolina Community College System, I want to thank George Fouts for all the work that he did to keep our 58 community colleges going forward this past year. And again, thank you for helping get the North Carolina Connect bond bill passed. Mr. Fouts, I do not know how we would have made it these past 9 months without you. Your legacy continues here at Western Piedmont, and quite frankly, is sitting in the rows right in front of you. This college is an excellent institution. It was when you were here, and it continues to be. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome to the lectern Mr. George Fouts.
Thank you, Dr. Helmick, for that not only kind, but rather generous introduction. The truth of the matter, all that's said about all the things and how long I've worked in the North Carolina Community College system really tells you that I'm getting old. I saw the faculty come on stage and I recognized 6 members of the faculty, and all of them were students of mine. Now, but when I came here in 1976, 1973, I was only 26 years old, and our average student was about 30. So, but there is currently no one on the faculty who was still here. Deborah Rose is retiring this year and is not here today. She was the last one, and I hired her, I think, in about 1982 or 83. But Dr. Helmick, members of the board, I'm truly honored to be here. I used to tell the Board of Trustees, Dr. Helmick, before we get ready for graduation. Now, for some of you who don't know, boards of trustees, unlike corporate board members, they get paid zero. They receive no compensation for their service. So I used to tell the board here, and I'll tell the board again, this is your payday out here tonight. And I'm sure you would say the pay is good. I am pleased to bring you greetings from the State Board of Community College, who, as Dr. Helmick says, I have now worked for almost a year as interim president, and will be interim president of the system until July 1. And also from our other 57 colleges, and I tell you, I've been to each of those colleges at least once this year. And this year, students, you might be interested to know, you are one of 791,000 North Carolinians who are attending a community college in North Carolina. Think about that, 791,000 North Carolinians. But when Dr. Helmick asked me back in January at the president's meeting, would I be interested in being graduation speaker tonight, I can't tell you how pleased that I was. There is no place that I'd rather be for this graduation speech than here tonight, because as Michael said, and I think you picked up, I have a special love for Western Piedmont Community College. It is the place that I started my career. I loved everything about it. I think it was the best 16 years of the 43 years of my professional life. I taught thousands of students here. I made hundreds of friends among faculty and staff and members in the community. This is the place I raised my children in Morganton. I just saw the old Morganton Junior High School that way, I guess, rather than this way, where my children went. And so I am very glad to be here. And the day I left Morganton in 1989, I will tell you, was one of the saddest days of my life. Now, as a result of being around this long, I've heard a lot of graduation speeches, graduates, and I've given a few. And one of the things that has never happened at a single graduation that I've been to, I never heard anyone in the audience say, "Man, that was a great speech. I just wished it would have been longer." I've just never heard that happen. Well, let me tell you, I won't have a long speech tonight or this afternoon. It will be a short speech, but I do want to say some things to you from the heart, a few pieces of advice, a few things to your family and friends and the faculty and staff tonight. But first, let me say congratulations to you. As Mr. Hawkins said, and said very well, could have been a good graduation speech itself, Mr. Hawkins, and very short but very pithy, that the reason you're here is because of completion of goals that many of you set many years ago. Now, I know, and Mr. Hawkins alluded to this, and your student body president did as well, is that most of you, probably all of you, have overcome many hurdles, many obstacles to reach this graduation. Quite a few of you probably returned to Western Piedmont years after graduating from high school. You have a huge college and career promise population. Dr. Helmick, I believe that's the most I have heard in terms of actually receiving degrees before receiving the high school diploma. The phenomena is not unusual, but the numbers are incredible. Many of you, though, returned to Western Piedmont because you wanted a different job. Some of you returned because your job disappeared. Some of you returned because you just wanted to get some additional education. And as your student rep said earlier, some of you are moving directly into careers, some of you are transferring, but all of you had your obstacles. I would bet on average probably a third of you completed your college work while you were raising a family and children and dealing with all those things. How many of you had to take anatomy and physiology? That was quite a hurdle, right? I bet you all of you, if anyone didn't have at least one course that you were concerned about was going to be such a speed bump that you would never graduate, raise your hand. All of you had none? There wasn't any courses that you were worried about? Good for you. You're a better student than I was. But you overcame those hurdles and you made it, and my congratulations along with those that you've already heard and others that you will hear. That's one of the reasons the first day I came. As I came into, and I think she's okay, huh? Good. The first thing I did when I drove into town today, I went over to the campus students, and I parked in the circular drive because I knew there were no other cars, so I knew I wouldn't get a ticket. And I walked up past what we used to call A building, which is now Moore Hall, and around the campus a bit, and I thought of that first day that I came here in September the 1st, 1973, and I knew, and faculty, I'll be glad to tell you the story someday of some things that happened that first day, but I won't put them here, that when I went home that night, I knew that I had found the career of my life. I knew this would be my work. And I want to tell you why, and it relates to your story. The difference between community colleges and selective admission colleges is just this. If you go to the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, they receive about 3 times the applications for every student they admit. They're what's called a selective admissions college. And they employ people to study applications, to study what you made on the SAT, what's your GPA in high school, whether you played football, whether you played the piccolo, or all sorts of variables to try to predict in advance if you will be successful. Those colleges predict before a student ever gets there if they're going to be successful. Community colleges don't do that. Western Piedmont doesn't do that. It doesn't try to predict in advance if you're going to be successful. It does, as Dr. Helmick alluded to, hire faculty and staff who will create the opportunities for you to become successful. So not to predict in advance, but to help you reach that success. And you have made that. So I want to share 3 pieces of advice with you. And I might add with your family and friends who are with you today. First, while graduations exist in order to primarily recognize your accomplishments, it's also important, I think, to recognize the people that help you get here. So for many of you, perhaps it's a husband or wife, perhaps it's a mother or father, perhaps it's a friend, perhaps it's a faculty member, perhaps it's a member of the student services staff. But my first piece of advice to you, and I want you to make me a promise that you do this. 8 years ago, I gave the graduation speech here, and I gave this same piece of advice then, and a graduate came up to me in the lobby and said, "My friend's not here, I'm calling him to tell him this." And here's the piece of advice. Seek out somebody before you leave here today or tonight, if you have to call them or visit them, and thank them for what help they gave you in making your graduation possible. And it may be somebody who works for the college, it may be a family friend, but do that. And a piece of advice similarly to the people in the audience who aren't graduating tonight. I'll tell you a story, and it's exactly true. I love my father, and I know my father loved me. He's been dead about a decade now. But my father was not the kind of person who openly expressed how much he loved us or how much he was proud of myself or my siblings. But on the day I graduated from college, my father was standing out in the lobby of the auditorium at Catawba College when I graduated, and as I came out, he stuck his hand to me. I shook his hand. He said, "George, I'm proud of you." And that meant more to me than any gift that my father had ever given me. So I might suggest that you do the same for your graduates today and let them know how proud you are of them. Second piece of advice is how to apply what you have learned here at Western Piedmont Community College, either into the work that you are seeking or to the further educational work that you're going to do. Now, some of you, Dr. Helmick pointed to his new medallion, are coming out of special programs like machining or nursing or dental assisting or some kind of skills program where you have developed highly technical skills. However, no matter what job you're going to, no matter what job you have, or no matter what job you're going to have in the future, there are certain skills that all jobs have in common. Now, in the educational world, as the faculty knows, over about the last 20 years, we have developed this term for these skills that move across all occupations. We call them soft skills or employability skills. They're things like how to communicate with your fellow workers, how to work in teams in addition to working as an individual. But whenever I look at those publications that list those soft skills, I always think something is missing. In fact, I saw a list in an ACA textbook, and some of you probably teach the academic success classes. I saw a list of those soft skills the other day that numbered 37 soft skills. 37 soft skills, general skills, generic skills, and the most important one was missing, and it's a skill I call passion. Passion. From the very first job I ever had, the first paying job I ever had, I was a newspaper carrier for the Thomasville Times, carried a morning paper out 5 days a week for 3 years until I got my driver's license and then got a different job. But from that very first, my mother, who was a very hard-working woman, gave me 2 pieces of advice. Get up early, work hard. Get up early, work hard. I learned that before I got drafted in the Army, because if I hadn't learned that earlier, I would have had more trouble in the Army than I did. And it's a good soft skill to have. It's a good employability skill. It's a good piece of advice. Get up early, work hard. So whatever you're going to do after today, think about that. Get up early, work hard. And I know some of you might want to get up later, then stay up later, but still work hard. Employers, I don't care who the employer is. I don't care whether it's an employer at a machine shop, the manager of a hospital or a healthcare facility, the principal of a school, whatever it is. They want employees who are skilled technically, who have the specific skills that are necessary for that job. But more than ever, they want people who get up early, who work hard, people who don't constantly complain about the job, people who don't constantly watch the clock until the end of the workday. In short, they want workers who are passionate about their work. The Southern novelist William Faulkner, and some of you probably have read Faulkner, wrote one time, and I love this quote. Now listen to me, because some of you are going to think I'm going to be vulgar, but I'm not being vulgar. Listen to the context. William Faulkner wrote this: "You can't eat for 8 hours a day. You can't drink for 8 hours a day." But by the way, if you know Faulkner, he tried to drink for 8 hours a day. You can't eat for 8 hours a day. You can't drink for 8 hours a day, and you can't make love for 8 hours a day. So what's the only thing Faulkner thought you could do for 8 hours a day? Work, right? You work for 8 hours a day. And Faulkner concluded that is why people make themselves and everyone so miserable and unhappy, is because the only thing they can do for 8 hours a day is not eat, not drink, or make love. It's work. Now, Faulkner was wrong. Not about eating, not about drinking, or about making love, but about misery and work. Not everyone is miserable at work. I bet there's a lot of people on this stage, faculty and staff, who are not miserable at Western Piedmont Community College. I don't see how you could be and see the results of your work out here this afternoon. In fact, I'll go a step further. And I've told some employees this. I've told a couple, Michael, when I worked at Western Piedmont, and I've told several at every college at which I have worked, if you're miserable with your work, find something else. To paraphrase an old Chinese proverb, if you can't blossom where you're currently planted, go to a different garden. So if you're miserable at work, find something else to do, which is probably why some of you have returned to Western Piedmont to pick up a different skill for a different job. Being miserable is still not being miserable is still not good enough, though. If you aren't truly passionate about your job, I would encourage you to find a different job or a different place to work. And I can tell you, only a couple of times in my 43 years did I reach a point that I was miserable, and in both cases, I found other work. Third and final piece of advice is really a challenge both to you and indeed to everyone in this facility tonight, and it is to support Western Piedmont Community College. I think the best community college in North Carolina. Now, Scott Rawls, who was the previous system president, and Dr. Helmick, you'll remember this, Scott had a saying, the best community college in North Carolina was whichever one he was at that day, right? I don't say that. You can ask the people as I've gone across the system. I think Western Piedmont Community College is the best community college in North Carolina because of its present faculty and staff and leadership and public support, but also because of its history. It is a fine college. So my advice to you is a challenge to you and everyone here to support this college. You have received a sound education from a dedicated faculty in spite of the fact that North Carolina's community colleges, while frequently cited as the best community college system in the nation, it is the third largest, and is frequently said we are the best community college system in the nation. It is also the case that we are the worst funded community college system in America. Our community colleges produce more than 50% of the registered nurses in North Carolina. We produce more than 75% of the dental hygienists and the dental assistants. We produced almost all of the police officers, the firefighters, the EMS technicians in North Carolina, and this list could go on for the next 10 minutes. In terms of our nursing students, for example, 94% of the students in North Carolina Community College nursing programs over the last 20 years, 94% have passed the North Carolina licensing exam. It's called the NCLEX the first time, 94%. Graduates of the university nursing programs take the same exam, and 62% of them pass the nursing exam on the first taking. 94% for community college graduates, 62% for university graduates. Look at our transfer students. How many of you are going to transfer to a four-year college next year? Looks like roughly a half of you. Transfer students from our community colleges who transfer to any of the 16 constituent campuses of the University of North Carolina do better in terms of a grade point average in their junior and senior year than the students who started their freshman year at that university. Do better. In fact, over all the universities, 2/10 of a grade point average better in the junior and senior year. At one branch of our consolidated universities, which I'll remain nameless, community college graduates do 1.3 grade point average better in the junior senior year than the students who started at that university. That's pretty impressive, don't you think? Yet the General Assembly funds the university system at a rate 3 times greater than they fund a full-time student at our community colleges. Now, I could go into a lot of reasons why this is the case, but the main reason is this. Not too many members of the General Assembly graduated from community colleges. Most of them graduated from the university, so they kind of vote their allegiance to the university. But if we're going to continue this record of excellence that a place like Western Piedmont Community College has had over these 5 decades, then we've got to change this situation. Let me tell you a little more about Burke County than Dr. Helmick alluded to, and he mentioned some of the past of this college. 42 years ago, more than that, 52 years ago, the citizens of Burke County voted by a 17-1 margin to authorize a bond issue which would permit the establishment of this college. 17-1 margin. Dr. Helmick, we didn't do that well on Connect NC, but we came close, 67%. That vote, 10,000 people voted that day. Only 540 citizens of Burke County out of that 10,000 voted against the creation of Western Piedmont Community College. The vote carried in every precinct of Burke County and was by far the largest margin of support given for any of the community colleges in North Carolina that were created during the 1960s. Now, those of you who have lived your entire life in Burke County or 16 years like I have, you probably know that most Burke Countyans don't usually voluntarily vote to raise their taxes, right? You won't find too many times when people say, you want to raise taxes, and they'll raise their hand. But 94% of those voters approved a 5-cent property tax increase to create Western Piedmont Community College. So the citizens did it. Now, why was this movement so to create a community college in Burke County so successful. Because, by the way, the original planners of the North Carolina Community College system back in the late 50s and the early 60s did not have a community college scheduled for Morganton, North Carolina. There was not going to be a community college here. There was going to be one in Lenoir, there was going to be one in Asheville, but there was not going to be one in Morganton, North Carolina. But here's why it was successful. Because a group of citizens in Burke County decided it was worthwhile, and they convinced enough people to have that vote that was worthwhile. So graduates, one of the things I want to leave you with is that, as Dr. Helmick said, your success is due to the people on this stage, but it's also due to a lot of people who are on this stage, and most of whom, not all of whom, are now deceased. People like Stanley Moore, who was the editor of the Morganton News Herald, and Moore Hall on campus is named for. Frank Patton, for whom Patton Hall is named. Bob Carr, a longtime member of this board. Sam Brinkley, who was a longtime member of this board. W.F. McIntosh and his wife Nettie, who was a member of this board and I understand died in the past year, I believe. But no doubt, the person leading the charge to ensure that Burke County had a community college was Dr. E.W. Pfeiffer, the longtime surgeon in Burke County. He, perhaps more than any other citizen in Burke County, knew the value of a community college, and he chaired a countywide steering committee that worked for 2 years prior to that vote to create this college. And Dr. Pfeiffer realized, and he congratulated the citizens who were willing to invest their own tax money in what led to a college like the fine one from which you are graduating this afternoon. Graduates, you are now among the thousands, tens of thousands of students who have had the benefits of these early visionaries. The efforts that they created, you have benefited from those. Well, I hope you will remember that and do all you can to ensure better funding for Western Piedmont Community Colleges and as a result for the North Carolina Community College system so that your children and grandchildren can enjoy the same benefits you have. You have a tremendous advantage. If I had to say right now, and as part of this job, as Dr. Helmick would understand, most of my time is actually not spent out of college. It's most of my time spent in the General Assembly, particularly this past month, trying to get more funding for community colleges. And one of the half a dozen biggest champions in the General Assembly is a Burke Countyan, Representative Hugh Blackwell, a former member of this board, Dr. Helmick, but now a representative in the General Assembly from Burke County. And Representative Blackwell is one of the greatest champions of the North Carolina Community College system in general and in Western Piedmont Community College in particular. So tell him thank you and lobby the rest, not only the county commissioners, but also not only the General Assembly, but also county commissioners in Burke County who provide support for this college. But graduates, one final piece of advice. Talking about what you can do for this college, and you can do a lot of things. But the best thing you can do for this college is to tell people what this college did for you, how it changed your life, how it gave you opportunities that you would not have had without Western Piedmont Community College, what you're going to do with those talents and skills that you have. And I think Dr. Helmick and the board would agree, if you tell that story to people who make decisions about this college, it'll have far more impact than my telling the story or Dr. Helmick telling the story or Mr. Hawkins tell the story. You can be the best ambassadors this college can possibly have. So graduates, thank you again for allowing me to be part of this special day in your lives. I can assure you, as I said at the beginning, it is a very special day for me. So congratulations and Godspeed to each of you.
Congratulations. Welcome to family and friends who came to celebrate your accomplishments today. In addition to recognizing graduates each year, we also recognize an outstanding instructor who has demonstrated extraordinary efforts as a teacher. This award recipient is also recognized for exceptional service to the profession, the college, and the community, as well as for noteworthy involvement with students and incorporation of innovative teaching techniques. The Excellence in Teaching Award was established by Western Piedmont Foundation in 1986 to honor a member of the full-time faculty nominated by his or her own peers and students. The recipient of this distinguished award will receive a plaque, a medallion to wear at all future Western Piedmont graduation ceremonies, and a financial award provided by Western Piedmont Foundation. The instructor being honored today, who has a love for teaching and a passion for working with students, receives glowing remarks. One student states that this instructor provides a stress-free environment and is comfortable to work with. Another remarks that the skills this instructor taught will help me in my future career. And finally, a student describes this instructor best as simply a really great teacher. Our honoree adapts teaching methods to ensure that every student is included in the learning experience. Our noteworthy recipient collects compliments from peers too. A nomination letter from a colleague praises this instructor by saying the nominee is highly competent, dedicated to students, respectful to colleagues, and thoughtful and thorough in everything they do. Yet another fellow educator states that this recipient is the best teacher for every student, every class, every day. This teacher is described as organized, concise, and caring, while passionate about educating and taking personal responsibility for the success of students. To offer a snapshot of the extraordinary efforts demonstrated by this individual, here's just a few. He is the driving force behind 2 successful AAS programs, Digital Effects and Animation, or DEET, and Simulation and Game Design, or SGD. He and his students have produced over 15 video simulation products for Western Piedmont Community College, including promotional videos for the college and for our quality enhancement plan. His students have won numerous awards for participation in the prestigious 48-hour film festival. During summer months and summer breaks, this instructor has upgraded 4 iMac classrooms. Our recipient also established partnerships in the community with the North Carolina School for the Deaf and Burke County Public Schools. This instructor has mentored over 10 high school students for their senior projects. He organized the SGD and DEET summer camps for 12 to 15-year-olds in our community. Tonight's recipient now joins an illustrious group at Western Piedmont Community College who provide leadership not only in the art and science of teaching, but also the heart. Graduates, ladies and gentlemen, I am pleased to announce the recipient of the 2016 Western Piedmont Foundation Excellence in Teaching Award is Jonathan Crumpler.
I now ask the candidates for graduation to please stand. President Helmick, I'm honored to speak on behalf of the faculty of Western Piedmont Community College to present to you these candidates for graduation. I certify that these persons have fulfilled the graduation requirements for their respective programs of study as prescribed by the college and the North Carolina Community College system, and recommend that you confer upon them the degrees and diplomas for which they have qualified.
Thank you. Before I go on with my prepared remarks, you may have seen me leave the stage earlier. We had a small medical emergency, but it's okay. Candidates, you have been prepared for the next stage in your lives by completing a prescribed program of study. Whether you choose to continue your formal education at a four-year college or university, continue employment in your chosen field, or begin employment in a new career, you will be faced with the challenges of adjusting to a constantly changing world in the 21st century. Our world continues to become more complex, requiring that we master the technological, scientific, and humanistic skills which contribute to the development of our society. The foundation you have received in general education will enable you to think critically, to reason logically, and to judge wisely both in your careers and in your daily lives. Western Piedmont Community College has prepared you well for whatever path you choose, but I urge you to remember that your education is not ending, it is just beginning. Make a commitment at this ceremony to become a lifelong learner and continually hone the skills that you have obtained in your time here. Now, with the exception of the first row, would the rest of the graduates please be seated? The graduates will come forward as their names are called and receive their degrees and diplomas. And as a special request, I ask that the audience members respect the solemnity of this ceremony and treat all graduates with dignity and respect during the upcoming conferring of degrees. Now the first of our deans will come to the lectern as we begin presenting our awards.
The Division of Humanities and Social Sciences, candidates for the degree of Associate in Applied Science, Digital Effects and Animation Technology. Whitney Lale, High Honors. Gary Kyle Phillips, Honors. Timothy Smythe. Digital Effects and Animation Technology and Simulation and Game Development. Cody Wright, Burke Collegiate Scholar, Honors. Early Childhood Education. Tara Marie Brianna. Bethany P. Church. Martha E. Ferguson, Phi Theta Kappa, High Honors. Sarah L. Power. Chelsea Lynn Smith. Interpreter Education. Dara B. Fox, Phi Theta Kappa, High Honors. Richard Hogan, Phi Theta Kappa, Honors.
Division of Science, Engineering, and Mathematics.
Candidates for the degree of Associate in Applied Science. Computer Engineering, Briar Williams. Computer Engineering Technology and Electrical Engineering Technology. Sue Chu. Computer Integrated Machining Technology. Mark Allen Benfield II, Honors. Daniel A. Norris, Phi Theta Kappa, Honors. Aaron Scott Wilson. Environmental Science Technology. Amanda Renee Bumgarner, Honors. Barbara W. Campbell, Phi Theta Kappa, High Honors. Kimberly Ann Davis. William Lee Eckert. Madrigal Stormy Lewin. Heather Marie Penley. Horticulture Technology. Joshua Michael Moore, High Honors. Joseph William Pless, High Honors. Mechanical Engineering Technology. Johnny R. Bailey, Phi Theta Kappa, High Honors. Cameron Vincent Lane. Feng Meng Lord. Bill T. Boo. Dua Zong. Sustainable Agriculture. Christina Marie Kelly.
Keith Powell. Jordan Lee Strickland. Welding technology. Christopher Alexander Deal.
Division of Business and Public Services. Candidates for the degree of Associate in Applied Science, Accounting. Mary Elizabeth Kelly. Melissa Dawn Smith, High Honors. Ashley Darlene Triplett, Phi Theta Kappa, High Honors. Yer Yang. Accounting and Business Administration Diploma, Melody Joy Benedict, High Honors. Business Administration, Travis Dwayne DeGroll. April Dawn Meredith, Phi Theta Kappa, Honors. Jacob Daniel Ratliff, Honors. Computer Information Technology, Don Allen Birch, Honors. Ryan Jonathan Kepner, Phi Theta Kappa, High Honors. Benita Paulette Soper, Phi Theta Kappa, High Honors. Cole Vang, Honors. Criminal Justice Technology, Brandy Marie Ayala. Sandra Lynn Carswell, Honors. Kelsey Lane Costner, Phi Theta Kappa, Honors. Burgess, Phi Theta Kappa, honors. Nathaniel Eugene Edwards. Chelsea Danielle Green, Phi Theta Kappa, honors. Brittany Lee Herman. Matthew Dwayne Lunsford, high honors. Shelby Danae McGee. Joshua Owen Meadows. Claudia Denise Morales Becerra. Joshua Lee Price. Lauren Adelaide Sisk, Phi Theta Kappa, honors. Zachary Kyle Story. Brandon Abraham Thomas. Justin Colby Wilson. Jason Cesana, high honors. Human Services Technology. Amy Lynn Cochran, Phi Theta Kappa, high honors. Bethany Nicole Eigert, Phi Theta Kappa, high honors. Tabitha Leanne Phillips, honors. Amber Michelle Stapleton, Phi Theta Kappa, honors. Human Services Technology with a concentration in substance abuse. Garrett R. Cormier, Phi Theta Kappa, honors. Joshua Brent Hill. Kristen L. Jones, Phi Theta Kappa, High Honors. Kimberly Arlene Thompson, Phi Theta Kappa, High Honors. Emily A. Worley, High Honors. Medical Office Administration. Amber Page Buchanan, High Honors. Mai Hua Lee, Phi Theta Kappa, Honors. Brandy Nicole Weaver, Phi Theta Kappa, High Honors. Office Administration. Joanne L. Edwards, Phi Theta Kappa, High Honors. Mai Shua Chong. Paralegal Technology. Reagan Mackenzie Brown. Elisa Hunt, High Honors. Robert Keith Lale. Sarah Jean McDonald, Honors. Brianna Smith. Brittany Diane Suriel Sanchez, High Honors. Lacey Myra Vance. Julie Elizabeth Warner, High Honors.
Burke Middle College, candidates for the degree of Associate in Arts. Caitlin Elizabeth Autry, High Honors. Sabrina Baraha, Phi Beta Kappa, honors. Erica Brooke Dale. Clarissa Joanne Eakin, honors. Kendall Bree Freeman. Brandon Galden, Phi Theta Kappa, high honors. Emily Nicole Harmon, Phi Theta Kappa. Matthew James Eisenhower. Leslie Faye Canuck, high honors. Alyssa Lee, Phi Theta Kappa, honors. Kayla Rainey Miller, honors. Coleman J. Murphy, honors. Janki Atulamore Patel, Phi Theta Kappa. Braylee Grace Radford, honors. Juliana Lee Sloan. Kayla Alexis Spees. Connor Lawrence Taylor. Tyler Landon Thompson. Cameron Sia Vane. Chang Hug Vu, high honors. Crystal Kadu Vu. Jenny Xing Vu, Phi Theta Kappa, High Honors. CJ Zhang. Galia Zhang. Ryan Chor Zhang. Tuthet Linuvu Yang. Yinzamin Q Yang. Candidate for the degree of Associate in Arts and Associate in Science, Meredith Rayanne Adams, Phi Theta Kappa, Honors. Candidates for the degree of Associate in Science, Paige Alexis Bortnick, Phi Theta Kappa. Go New Chu. Joseph Evan Diab, High Honors. Luis Alberto Estrada Ariano, Honors. Kayla Lee Freeman. Sierra Michelle Hensley, High Honors. Marita Danielle Jackson. Austin Wayne Lackey, Phi Theta Kappa, High Honors. Maggie Carolina Lee, Phi Theta Kappa, Honors. Cindy Lopez Geronimo. Dakota Allen Lohman, Phi Theta Kappa. Kyle Grant Manier. Lauren Elizabeth Rudisell, Phi Theta Kappa, High Honors. May Shihor, Phi Theta Kappa, James Michael Smith. Daniel Alejandro Uribe Campos, Phi Theta Kappa Honors. Kathy Jean, Phi Theta Kappa Honors. Edna Yang. Sarah China Yang, Phi Theta Kappa Honors. Candidate for the degree of Associate in Applied Science, Electrical Engineering Technology, Simeon Lewis Peterson, Phi Honors.
One of the interesting things about Western Piedmont is how many people in this community have a connection to the college. I suspect we have many proud Western Piedmont Community College graduates here today, or people who have attended the college. And it would be great to see how many of those past graduates are in the audience. So before the graduating class of 2016 is presented, I ask that all persons in the audience who are past Western Piedmont alumni, who attended or graduated, to please stand while you receive, and remain standing while you receive our applause. So if you went to school here or you graduated from here, please stand. So this is Now will the Western Piedmont Community College class of 2016 please rise. This is where we make it official. And now by the authority vested in me by the trustees of Western Piedmont Community College, the North Carolina Community College System, and the state of North Carolina, and in recognition of the completion of your prescribed programs of study and all other requirements of Western Piedmont Community College, I take great pleasure in hereby conferring your degrees and diplomas to you, together with all rights and privileges. Please join me in applauding this class. Exit the auditorium. Graduates, the tassel on your mortarboard is currently on the right, which is the traditional location of the tassel for students who have not completed their degrees. Degree completers wear their tassels on the left. We degree completers would like you to join us in our ranks, so please raise your left hand. Your other left hand. You did finish that degree. Now grasp the end of the tassel and move it to the left, signifying your acceptance into the rank of degree completers. Graduates, you are now officially recognized.
you, and we will now have the procession.
Thank you.